computer, Monroe, wanted to show you what this looked like in case you didn't see it. This was the tornado that touched down at Clinton, Mississippi, late this morning, producing a lot of damage. And this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes like that. We don't show that to scare anybody, but we're just showing that to give you an honest evaluation of the history of this storm. So along the journey, it has produced tornadoes that look just like that, and it is possible, in fact, we know something like that was down about 15 minutes ago, back when our two teams from Mississippi State were on that storm, and at the moment it's crossing the Tombigbee River from Sumter County over into Greene County, and again, that will be more than likely affecting the areas south of Tuscaloosa. So we'll go back to the radar. And this is the first of two storms that have tornado warnings now. And this is clearly the storm with the better structure. And you can see that's crossing over the Tombigbee near Gainesville from northern Sumter into northern Greene. In terms of Greene County, the greatest risk here is from Bolagie and Utah north. Forkland and Point South, you are not at risk from this storm. There will be others. In fact, you can see them. They're lining up just like trains on a track. But this lead storm right here, this is the one that could easily produce a very significant tornado across the northern half of Greene County. And I say that tornadoes are even large tornadoes. A tornado that's 3/4 of a mile wide like this, compared to a whole county, that's very small. But we encourage everybody that's anywhere close to the circulation points we call out just to be in a safe place until this thing passes. This will be a day where you want to take these pretty seriously. A lot of times we'll have the squall lines. You try and catch the small spin-up tornadoes. It's a whole different ball game with these. These are the classic supercell storms of mid-spring here in Dixie Alley. Let's check the other storm, Jason. This is one of two. We've got the other storm that is over in Perry County in central Alabama for the storm that is east of Marion. And again, this storm clearly does not have the structure of the first storm. You can see that that storm is located now in the community of Sprott. Sprott is in Perry County between Marion and Brent. And that particular thunderstorm is moving to the east northeast. And again, John Brown and Mike Wilhelm are on this storm, and it looks like at the moment they've run out of data. Data is pretty sparse down and through here, good cellular data. As soon as we get their signal back, we'll take a look at their live stream. And again, this is nothing like that first storm. Having said that, any storm today with this tornado warning, I'd suggest you take it seriously. But for a few more moments, we'll have a tornado warning up here for northeastern Perry. Not so sure they'll extend this because the structure is simply not looking that good. So that's the storm the farthest to the east. Let's go back to the west. We'll focus on this thing. And again, in a moment, we're going to check some sky cam shots, take a look at the environmental conditions. But again, a quick radar update on this storm. There's your tornadic storm. This storm could have a large, violent tornado down. It is crossing the Tombigbee River. It is now into Greene County. It just crossed the river near Gainesville, and that is moving east, almost due east. There's no northward component of motion here, and that means Bolagie and Utah, you are at risk from this potentially large tornado this afternoon. Now, let's check the Skycam network. We'll look at Tuscaloosa's camera first. We're looking for dew points. And again, if you could pull that banner down for just a moment, I can see, there we go, thank you. This is the Tuscaloosa dew point, 65. That is very significant. If you've heard me speak before, you know that in the spring with our March, April outbreaks, that's kind of a red flag when the dew point reaches 65. It's not magical. You can have severe weather with numbers certainly shorter than that. But again, having said that, that is a situation where the air is quite unstable. Now let's check the Demopolis sky cam. We'll go down to the south, and this is where the dew point is even higher. The dew point is 67. This is the camera at the Demopolis Civic Center looking back over here toward Sumter County. The trees are in Sumter County across the Tombigbee. The camera's at the Demopolis Civic Center in Marengo County on the Marengo County side. The temperature 71 with a southeast wind at 3. So there is very good quality air in terms of convection that's flowing up into this thing. Again, let's... And I'm thinking, who took over my computer? But I think that would be Jason that took over that.
Mike Brown just sent me a picture, and I was trying to upload it.
Okay, great. I will move over here and let you have control of that one. All right, let's go back to the radar. And again, I'm going to check some of the latent messages coming from the National Weather Service.
Let's take the internet computer full. This was the tornado in northeastern Kemper County, Mississippi.
Goodness gracious. Are you kidding me?
I have never seen anything like that in Mississippi or Alabama.
This is not Oklahoma. This is not Kansas. This is deep south.
That's from Rennie Vandewedge, his team. He is the broadcast meteorology instructor. He deals with all the helping students be able to to learn how to use the weather wall and to learn how to use their meteorology on the air appropriately. And he also is an excellent storm chaser. And he and Greg Nordstrom had 2 teams out on that. So that may still be on the ground, and it's on top of the river right now, in the Tombigbee River, and it's going to stay just a little north of Gainesville, maybe. It's close enough, though, that that thing is so wide and underneath a very large thunderstorm. We don't know exactly what street that's on or what county road it's on, but that is what the tornado looked like as it came near Scuba, Mississippi, just a few minutes ago. So thanks to Rennie Vandewedge and Mike Brown over at Mississippi State for sending us that pic.
Goodness. Okay, this tornado warning is in effect until 2:30, and again, that you don't need us to say a whole lot. You look at that, and this is what you're dealing with. Does it look like that now? I can't guarantee that, but there's a real chance that it is. So again, we have potential for a large, violent tornado that is about to move into the Utah, Bolagie areas of Greene County. Now, again, on the big view here, we're not ignoring you up here. If you've got thunder and lightning and it's pouring rain, if you're in Jasper and Berry and Fayette and Vernon and Sullivan and Ewan, we understand that, but you are in cool, stable air. Those storms are elevated, and again, up and through here, there will not be a tornado right now, and until the air destabilizes, you won't have a tornado. The greatest threat in the short term is down to the south. Now, could things change up here this evening? Yes. If this warm, unstable air moves north, this rain dissipates. But again, as long as this rain is falling up in here, there's no severe weather threat. The threat is mainly along and south of Interstate 20, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, and points south. Could there be some hail up in here? Absolutely. You could see maybe large hail falling. We had a lot of hail reports with these storms in through here today. But in terms of and these are not rooted in the boundary layer, the planetary boundary layer. You want to see those for severe storms with tornadoes, and that's going to happen down to the south. And again, for a few more moments, that warning for Perry County is going to expire pretty soon. That's technically until 2:30. It's not going to run that long because the storm is moving out of Perry County. In fact, it's in the process of, it's sitting at the intersection of Bibb, Chilton, and Perry. You can see some evidence of an inflow notch here, so you know there's some structure to it, but there's no lightning, I mean none, out of this, and it just doesn't look like at the moment it's carrying a tornado. So I would imagine the Weather Service will let this warning expire for Perry. For those of you watching in Maplesville and Randolph and Brent, just be aware that it's around, but for the moment it does not look all that dangerous. So let's go back to the one that is dangerous. You can see the difference. I mean, you can clearly see the lightning output. Over here you've got nothing. Over here it's almost constant, nonstop. We've had reports of a large wedge tornado that we just showed you. Forget the reports. I mean, you saw it with your own eyes coming from the Mississippi State teams that are on this. So again, that's a pretty serious situation. So we'll take a closer look at this. We'll zoom back into the storm that is coming up into the Utah area. And I am going to go over here to Ashley's stream. Let's take Ashley Brand's stream coming from Stormchaser 3340. She is in southwest Tuscaloosa County, and she's in the process of working on intercepting this particular storm. And Ashley is in a very unstable environment down there, and as the storm gets closer to her, we'll be watching her live stream. We've got John Brown on the other circulation, which does not look that impressive, but I think Ashley, clearly of the 2 storms we have out there, that, of course, is the big one. So again, we'll keep an eye on her stream, and obviously she's out there with FedEx trucks and the 18-wheelers. And again, we stress there is no tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County right now. There probably will be soon for the southern part of Tuscaloosa County, but we'll keep an eye on that. So let's go back to the radar. We'll bounce between the various sources today. This has been a very sparsely populated part of Alabama. You know, oftentimes hear us talk about, we'll know if something's there because it's coming through a larger community. Well, so far, this has been in a part of the world where you don't have a lot of folks that live there. Having said that, people do live there, and that's the reason we're on television. We'll stay on the air with you. To get your bearings straight, that's Interstate 5920 right here. That's Alabama Highway 14 that runs up to Aliceville. This is the Sipsey River right here. The Sipsey River is the boundary between Pickens County and Greene County right in through here. And again, that circulation is moving more east like this, okay? Instead of moving northeast like they often do on severe weather outbreaks, it's moving more east. And again, we can pretty much confirm confirmed that, which means there will be a clear threat to Utah. But for the Greene County Greyhound Park, if they are open today, and I don't know if they are, they will need to go through their tornado plan right now. If people are in that facility, everybody that's watching us in the city of Utah, you need to go through your safe place. If you are around Bolaji, Paramount High School, you need to go to your safe place right now. This will not affect Forkland. Forkland's down there in the southern end of Greene County. This will affect the communities we've talked about, Bolaji, Utah, probably passing a bit south of Union. These are very small communities out here in the northwestern part of Greene County. But again, right back in through there, that's where the tornado would be. There's the inflow notch right here, a classic hook structure. We've seen VIL's vertical integrated liquid. It's up to 70 kilograms per cubic meter, and that would suggest hailstones can be the size of baseballs with this thing. So up here in the large hail shaft, you could see some very large hail falling. And again, the chance of a tornado is down here, passing maybe just north of Gainesville. It seems like there is a little northward component of motion. That's VIL right there. That's the vertical integrated liquid. And this is where the very, very large hail is falling. And again, that could be anywhere from 1 to 2 inches in diameter. It's 65 to 70 kilograms per cubic meter right now. So again, that's going to be affecting, that could affect Union, but the part back here in the back, that tornadic circulation, that has a greater chance of perhaps impacting, golf ball sized hail. 1 3/4 inches, what the system is suggesting here. And that's just the system suggesting that. That doesn't mean that it will exactly happen, but the conditions do favor that today. Very large hail. So, and again, note the lightning count, over 1,400 strikes there in the last hour with this thing. Tremendous.
That's in a 25-mile radius at that point.
Really?
25-mile radius. So just an unbelievable kind of thunderstorm there. We haven't seen anything this powerful since back last April, on April 24th, and that was back in Mississippi. The storms that came through Alabama were a little bit weaker that day, even though they did produce some tornadoes. But this one is obviously riding a boundary between the most unstable air, which is in Sumter and Greene and Hale counties, and the somewhat unstable air, which is in Tuscaloosa, and there's another boundary north of there. So these storms are not really reducing the severe weather threat. Sure, they're cooling the temperature down briefly, but James and I were watching the Starkville, Mississippi State camera a little while ago, and as a storm passed by, instead of cooling it, it warmed, and the wind picked up from the south. So we saw the temperature go from about 60 to 67 in a matter of minutes, and that makes the atmosphere even more unstable. If we wind up in the 70s in Chilton County and Shelby County and Talladega and Coosa counties later on, these storms will continue to maintain this kind of rotation. They'll maintain their intensity, the lightning, the hail, and the threat of tornadoes. In Sumter County, the threat is almost completely over. I believe the actual circulation is probably in green. We still want you to be in a safe place, though, near Gainesville. In fact, that's our live storm alert radar, and it's this little notch right here. That is where the possible tornado may be. That little notch is an inflow notch. It doesn't look quite as pronounced on the live radar as it does the NEXRAD. Of course, the NEXRAD is a little bit better at penetrating through all that rain and hail, so we're seeing a little more storm structure with it. Here's the velocity display, and you still have a very powerful couplet, very strong couplet, just north of Alabama 39. But because the couplet is north of 39 doesn't mean the tornado couldn't be right on it. So if you are in that part of Greene County, if you're inside Greene County, west of Clinton, this storm is on you right now. You need to be in a safe place, the lowest floor of your home, a basement, a storm shelter of some kind. And if you don't have another place to go, just get in the middle and stay there on the lowest floor of the building that you're in. By the way, speaking of Clinton, in Clinton, Mississippi, we were just given some information a little while ago. If you happen to be traveling down toward Jackson on I-20, you're not going to get past Jackson. They have 20 shut down because of tornado damage in that part of Mississippi. Emergency management from all over the place converging on Clinton and Ridgeland and Jackson because of this storm. This is the one that produced the big tornado in Jackson that we had all the pictures of, the bigger tornado in Kemper County. And let's take that one more time off that internet computer in case you're just joining us. That is a large, violent tornado, as taken a picture from Rennie Vandewedge from Mississippi State University, and they were chasing that storm through Kemper County, and now it's in Sumter and Greene, really moving out of Sumter and headed over into western Greene County. Still just as powerful looking as it was when it was in Kemper. So if you are in Greene County, we need you in a safe place right now. This is not one of those.
Well, I was going to say, while we got that picture up, Jason, let me show you another one that came in. This is from Uniontown. That's in Perry County. I thought that's a pretty good looking wall cloud. This image was taken, and that is the storm that prompted the tornado warning for Perry County. That moved pretty close to Marion and prompted a tornado warning. And again, it's kind of lost its structure, but since we're looking at all these photographs, and again, I want to encourage everybody, if you have an image of anything interesting today, especially a wall cloud, obviously, or a funnel cloud or a tornado, the address is pictures@abc3340.com, and that is clearly the best way that we can actually see the weather. It's watching it on the air like this as the images come in.